Bronny's playing against the Celtics, and Jaylen Brown is in attendance. He's sitting courtside next to two WNBA players. And it looks like Jaylen turns to them and says, I don't think Bronny is a pro. Now, I think we all know kind of like which color is the dress. There are these visual tricks. I also think there's these audio tricks when it comes to things. When you predetermine what someone is going to say, you can kind of convince yourself that's exactly what they're saying. So I'm allowing Jaylen Brown a bit of an out here. Now, then if you look at Jaylen Brown tweeting this morning, he says, quote, it's a flex to have your son alongside you in the NBA. It reflects greatness and longevity. Bronny has all the tools around him to be successful. I look forward to watching his growth. That feels like a quote tweet that's like, yeah, that's exactly what I said, and I got busted here. Anything that you want to do on this, and I think also I'd like to include in, like, what's wrong with Jaylen Brown saying that? And is there still this kind of kiss the ring mentality with LeBron or anybody of that stature if you're another player? Like if I'm Jaylen Brown, won finals MVP, won the title, and am sharing a comment that I'd rather not be in a video, ultimately, like it's not going to ruin my day if LeBron James is now upset at me that I've come to the conclusion I think a lot of people have come to, like he's going to have, meaning Bronny, he's going to have to get a lot better for this to even be a serious thing.
Yeah, so a couple of things. Number one, he didn't walk in there with two women. He walked in there with Angel Reese and the lady from The Fever in the Sky, and I don't know how to say her name.
That's why I didn't say it. Yeah, I know. I don't know how to
get
pronounce her
it.
name.
But like you have to give him a little bit of a clear out, because if you're Jaylen Brown, he walked in there with some work, is what we call it.
Is that what it's called?
It's called some work.
Okay.
All right. He walked in there like the man. Shout out to Angel Reese, Bayou Barbie. He's got probably the baddest woman on his arm. I can't think of a better looking lady in basketball history. Now, I'll be honest with you, the WNBA is starting to get hot in these WNBA streets. I see a lot of them. What was the 6'7" white girl that was out there? She ended up hurting herself, but it's getting it used to be some Mr. Feeney's, now it's some Sydney Sweeney's. So
that rhymed.
The league is changing. All right, things are different. Women have always been beautiful. I joke. Okay,
just an aside on Angel Reese, though. I know at one point during a timeout, she went to the post and said, I only have 8 points. Can you guys throw it in here real quick?
Yeah, good for her. I mean, chase a double-double. Moses Malone used to do it. She's a modern day Moses Malone.
No. Yeah, if a guy did this in the NBA and chased this stat this much, he would get destroyed.
Yeah.
For the record.
This is what I'll say to that, Russillo. I'd say that women have been overlooked. They've been pushed to the side. They've built this society. They've been the backbone of civilization for so long. I think that we've come to the point in society. Look, I'm about to woke you. This is called a woke whipping right now. I think we've come to the point in society where it's okay for a woman to pad her stats. Well, I like to see a woman have the opportunity to put her stats up there and get recognition for what she's able to do by missing shots and putting them back. I think it's okay. I think it's not only, I think
I'm not even talking about the misses. I'm not talking about the Moses part of it.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the end of two specific games where we got really mad at Ricky Davis. Who was it? Daryl Armstrong, when he checked himself back in the Orlando game. Like that stuff doesn't go over well. Just saying.
All I'm saying is right now, what I'm saying is, I don't think we have women. I don't think we have I don't think it's okay for us to tell women what they should be doing with their bodies. So if they decide they want to score 2 extra points in the post, I don't think it's up to you, Russillo, or me, or the Supreme Court, or whatever, to tell women what they should be. Because look, you're telling her to go sit down? That's not. Come on, you're telling her.
That's not what I'm saying.
You want to put a kitchen on the bench? You telling her to go sit down in the kitchen in the bench? She wants to score. If she wants to score, she can go out there and score. Russillo, what's going on here?
I don't have a counter to that.
All right. So back to the Bronny thing, and let's just keep it all the way real. Okay. Let's talk about it. Now, I'm gonna be completely transparent here. It's difficult for me to be on code and just talk about the Bronny situation as if it's not a dream. A dream, sure. It's a dream from all of the different angles, right? It's a dream to be able to do this. It's a dream to be powerful and noteworthy enough to say, hey, draft my son, right? That's a dream. It's a dream to have your son there with you, particularly if you're LeBron. That's a dream. You want that, right? If you're LeBron, cool. I don't think it's going to be fair to ask everybody to lobotomize themselves as we evaluate and talk about Bronny going forward. He's a professional athlete now. What everyone got a glimpse of with Jaylen Brown was the bullshit, real shit dichotomy that exists with almost every public figure. The real shit is Jaylen Brown is sitting courtside at a game that Bronny is playing with his girl and her friend. And he looks at the game in an honest way. And when you look at the look on his face, you can tell, if this is in fact what he said, when you look at the look on his face, you can tell that it brings him no pleasure to say it. He doesn't look over at her and go, man, yo, this little dude sucks. Like, this is ridiculous. That's not what he said. He literally looked and goes, man, I don't think Bronny's a pro. That's what he said, and that's how he said it. He said it as if he didn't want to say it. It's like you look at your homie, you're like, man, is this movie not good? Man, I came to see Superman and Bryan Singer fucked it up. Maybe he was doing something between takes that he shouldn't have been doing. Maybe Kevin Spacey was too. Anyway, but so he says it in a way that you can tell he's not reveling in it, but that's what he really thinks. That's how he really feels. He's watching him. You're watching Bronny right now. The game is moving. The reason why he's airballing threes is because the game is moving very fast for him. He doesn't know when he has enough time to shoot. He can't feel his way through it right now. He doesn't really know what he's supposed to be doing, right? And you can tell, you can see him literally thinking about every dribble, every cut, every whatever. Reed Sheppard was playing with him, right? The learning curve is going to be steep. And right now, he doesn't look like a pro. That's the real shit. The bullshit is when you have to come back and clean it up because you have so much respect for LeBron James. Respect that LeBron James has earned. LeBron James has earned that respect not just as a basketball player, but as a father. And as someone who you look at and be like, hey, that's how I would want my family to be. Now, I have my own thoughts on using a draft pick on him when he's clearly not ready to have a draft pick used on him and what that means for other people. Like, we've seen other people in G League that are cooking that didn't get a chance to be drafted and connected to teams and all of that, whatever. But, I mean, Jaylen Brown got caught in a real shit moment where he was saying some real shit to his girlfriend. And it's not like he was reveling in it. She replies, it looks like he'll be in the G League for sure. It's another professional basketball player. She's been bounced around back up to the league for a couple of years. And he goes, no, because of his name, it's what people are saying that he said, he'll probably be on the Lakers. Well, Russillo, what lie did he tell? He didn't lie. What did he say that wasn't true? Right now, Bronny doesn't look like a pro. Not saying that he won't be a pro, but right now he doesn't look like it. And he probably will end up making the Lakers 12-man because he'll be around with his dad. All those things are true.
Yeah, if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm not thrilled about the collective of all of this. Like, I'm buddies with JJ, saw him this weekend. I'm thrilled for him. I'm pumped, but certainly I understand the argument against it if you don't like the hire. And the fact that it was floated LeBron was going to take less money to add the other guy. Miraculously, the other guy never shows up. He cuts it to $1 million, luckily, to keep it under the second apron. And as I had said after the draft, like, it's a 55th pick. It's not that big of a deal, but it's now the deal moving forward. It is, what if you have a trade and you need matching salaries? What if there's a roster spot? What if somebody else is waived and you're thinking, oh, it'd be actually awesome to add this guy as a developmental person instead of having LeBron's son on this guaranteed contract for multiple years? If I'm a diehard Lakers fan, I can appreciate what LeBron has done because I think that part gets completely overlooked by the Kobe fanatics, as if like LeBron hasn't delivered on any of it. Like, a ring is a ring. Championship. Some of these franchises, man, you go forever without even getting a taste of it. So for him to come in, and with him coming in means Anthony Davis is here and everything that goes with it, it's been a success. But on the way out, I'd be concerned because there's a strong argument to make to be like, what is this? Just a LeBron clutch show here at the end? Like, we're just going to do whatever. And this guy's going to be 40 this year. It's one thing if he's 30, even 35-year-old LeBron. But that part of it would be frustrating, I would think. And look, I've heard it. I've already heard it just being around here all the time, how pissed off. But sometimes I kind of take it with a grain of salt, too, when I think it's the guy that has the 8 and the 24 tattooed on both shoulders. And by the way, it's Kaiser Gondrzak, who was there with Jaylen. I felt bad.
Kaiser
both
is her name?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's Kaiser. Is it Kaiser? Kaiser. I don't know how you say it. I mean, that should tell you something right now. She's been playing ball for a long time. I've literally, since she was in.
I just felt like it was a little disrespectful, but it also speaks to the fact that, I don't know. Hey, you can't call me shallow.
Yeah, she's a great player. I think she has a tremendous skill set. So this is what I'll say. You know what we never talk about? We never talk about like the relative age of industries, right? Like things are not that old. You know, the NBA started in 1946?
Oh yeah, no, I love this. I'm with you on this.
Yeah, movies basically started in the 10s or the 20s. All of these leagues are not that old.
And then the talkies. Yeah.
Then the talkies came around. So when we look at all of the relative age of these industries, as they get older, these are the things that you're going to incur. There is a chance that one day a significant percentage of the NBA, even more significant than it is right now, will be second and third generation players. Right? That as the league gets a little bit more complicated and as the resources for the guys who played before start to top out, that they can both leverage their celebrity and their access to putting more second and third generation people into the league. That's why when you look at all the Nepo people that are in Hollywood or doing whatever, we've seen this before in many other industries that are older. You see railroad magnates and bank magnates and newspaper people. You see their sons and their kids and whatever running it. You see Bush become the president when Prescott Bush was a senator, when his dad was the president. His ancestors go way back to the Mayflower. Like all of this stuff, there's going to be an NBA sports version of that. It's eventually going to come as these leagues and industries, entertainment, whatever. You see, the only place that this really doesn't work is the kids of rappers. We're not trying to hear you rap because your daddy was nice. You have a much tougher road. Like if you like, there's some, but for the most part, if your daddy had the blicky in 96 to 2000, we don't want to hear you got the blicky. You didn't have the blicky. Like like we don't really, your whole thing on the world is going to be tough for you. Some of them make it work. There's Coi Leray, one of T.I.'s sons is crazy talented. Sometimes it works. One of T.I.'s
I'm just glad we had it. We had an example for the positive version of the story.
Yeah. Coi Leray, Corey Guns can rap his ass off. There are some people out there that can pull it off, but for the most part, it doesn't work there. But what I'm saying is that these are issues, particularly in these various industries, that we were going to run into because they're older industries and the top of them is getting richer. There was going to be a guy that was going to pull this. It's not like we hadn't seen it before, but when you look at the Nepo babies that have been in the NBA, for the most part, they've earned their way there. Like if Steph or, there's tons of examples, right? The Berries, all of this place. For the most part, they've earned their way there. This is the first one legitimately that I can think of that straight up did not earn his way to the league.
Thanasis, I think, is a decent example, but it's a different. Thanasis, I don't think is on an NBA roster without Giannis.
So this is what I would say to that. That is true. He is. However, he did earn his way into being a pro basketball player.
Yeah.
So he probably is not in the NBA without Giannis. I mean, I think we all know that. But on his own merit, on his own, he got to be a pro basketball player playing for X amount of years overseas or wherever he was or whatever he was doing, he was at least able to make a go of it as a pro ball player to where you could say, okay, that guy's toiled a little bit. Now his brother's going to be brought in, and now he's going to be the funniest player in the league. And also, look, he entertains us. I'm not mad that he's in the NBA. I like it. It's fun. So,
yeah,
so
I don't know. I just felt like some of the coverage is like, wait, so now people like nepotism? Like I thought people didn't like this. Because I'm with you. I think the story itself is an awesome thing. I think even without having children, you can appreciate all of that. But to get a jersey and to be on a guaranteed contract for multiple years, I think that's different than the family business being passed down. I think
it's not the
really
same
do.
at all.
I think getting
The family
I think
business
getting
is your inheritance. That's yours, right? When you get the family business handed down to you, that is your parent getting you ready to run what you're going to inherit. Like Jerry Jones's kids are going to get the Cowboys, right? So it makes sense to make them competent in running the Cowboys. Jerry Buss's kids are going to get the Lakers. So it makes sense in getting them ready to run the Lakers. This is different. This is leveraging your power to get your son into a league where there are only a few spots, you know?